Hi guys and welcome back to My Dank Dog. This is episode 5 of my Early Miss autoflower in a 5-gallon pot and she's looking awesome. Let's get into it. As you can see, I've got my Early Miss Auto under a Spider Farmer Evo SF2000 Lite as part of the SF2000 Grow Tent Kit and she's loving it. She's 7 weeks old in a 5-gallon pot of Fox Farm Ocean Forest with a worm casting top layer, and the nutrients I've been using are Gaia Green Organics. She's a cross between Big Bud, White Widow and Ruderalis, and as you can see her trichomes are packing it on. Now this strain is supposed to be seed to harvest 7 weeks, but as you can see these trichomes are mostly clear. There's a few cloudy ones starting to form. There's pretty much zero amber ones. So I think we've got another 2 to 3 weeks to go before the harvest. But I got to say, I'm so impressed with this strain. It's so low maintenance, easy to grow. I can't recommend it enough. It's been a breeze. You've seen the grow in the Global Grow Cup Challenge. The 16-ounce cup version of this is the same strain. And the size of the cola in that cup is amazing. So yeah, I can't recommend this strain enough. If you want quick, easy grow, low maintenance with a good yield, Early Miss autoflowers are fantastic. As you can see on the left hand side there, that's my Bruce Banner photo period that was supposed to be an autoflower. And that plant is huge at the moment. It's getting massive. It's really starting to stretch and kind of fill out. I've got this Early Miss on a stool to raise it closer to the lights. But as you can see, her buds are really starting to kind of fill out on these branches here. I love the way that they grow in this kind of spiral helix kind of way and then plump up. So yeah, if each one of these colas and bud sites get to the same kind of thickness as the 16-ounce version of this grow, I'm going to be blown away. But really, I mean, I've got no complaints. It's kind of weird that after 7 weeks, the hairs on these buds are probably at least 60% orange. So the way that it matures in such a quick fashion is crazy and such an easy grow as well. Last week we put this metal frame in the pot here because there were no grommets for me to do any LST. As you can see, it's just 2 metal frames that go together to form this circle at the top and they kind of clip together. They were a little bit long, so I had to cut off 2 or 3 inches of the bottom here with a pair of pliers, but it was quick work. And then I slotted them in and I used some of this yellow bud trainer wire just to pull the bottom branches out to get a kind of more even spread of the canopy. I have been using Gaia Green Organics and I've got fungus gnats. I didn't actually get it when I was just using the Gaia Green Organics 444, and I was using this before the plants started to show any signs of flowers or any buds. But as soon as I started to use the Gaia Green Power Bloom 284, I started to get fungus gnats as well. So I don't know if the larva is in the actual nutrients or whether it was in the soil or whether it was in the worm castings. But yeah, as you can see, this kind of crusty top layer is the nutrients. I'm going to cover it up with some worm castings. So we're going to put another top layer of nutrients in here and then a top layer of worm castings on top of that. And then I'm going to water it with this $3 hand pump that I got from Walmart. Actually, I bought 2 of them, so Walmart is good for something. As you can see, this kind of crusty top layer here is formed by the nutrients and it's really hard to dissolve. When you put water on top of it, it pools and then the water seeps out the side of the fabric pot. So I've also been adding this to water and feeding it that way to try and avoid that kind of crusty top layer as well. So another way to feed these nutrients to the plant is literally teaspoon in about 2 liters, 3 liters of water. I leave it overnight and it stinks. It smells like a swamp or sewage. It smells really bad. And then I water the plant that way and that avoids this kind of crusty top layer. But yeah, I'm going to give it a top layer this time and then put the worm castings on top and then water from above. And hopefully that will reduce or will not give me another kind of round of fungus gnats, and also reduce the weird crusty thing that I get at the top. You can actually mix it into your whole soil setup from the very beginning just to kind of make sure that it's mixed in there. But I've been using it in water and as a top layer like this, and look at the plant. There's no deficiencies on this plant. The plant hasn't asked me for anything. It's fantastic. So just going to put some more worm castings on the top here. I know that a lot of people say that you can get bad worm castings and you can get bad bacteria in them. So it's all organics. I don't know what's good or bad, all of these things, but I've never had fungus gnats before. So it was my first time and it's on all of my plants. So as you can see in the tent here, I've removed all of the other plants, but all of my plants have got the stickies at the bottom because there's a fungus gnats in there. If it gets any worse, I'm going to use neem, not the neem oil, but I looked into it and you can use this neem cakes and mix a kind of like a tea and then water your plant with that as well. So if these gnats do get any worse or they persist or I have it again, I'm probably going to use these neem cakes and make a tea. I spotted it for about $15 on Amazon. I've also noticed that Amazon hikes the prices up on everything. So things like Gaia Green, it's expensive anyway, but it is good. But it's almost twice the price on Amazon in some places. And Fox Farm soil is like 2 to 3 times to 4 times the price. So yeah, if you can find a good shop that has all of these things, go to it and avoid buying on Amazon, because I do notice that Amazon hikes up the prices. I found a good shop in Surrey. I'm in Vancouver and I have to drive to it, but it's fantastic. And the last time I was in there, I was talking to them about seed banks and explaining I was having a problem with my seed supplier, and they opened a drawer and they had a ton of local growers' seeds there, and I managed to get myself some seeds for the future. I haven't germinated them yet. That'll be a separate grow moving forward. But as you can see, that top layer is pretty straightforward. Basically covered the whole lot there. Let me just have a quick check to make sure all is good. I'm just going to water it evenly. The other thing about when you get this crust is it forms a puddle. And I know that when you get these puddles, you can form channels within the soil. So all of your roots don't get kind of like a even feeding or dosing of water. And just to make sure that that's not the case, I do kind of like spray it around here and make sure that it's all equal, because I don't want those channels forming. And with a fabric pot, you can see that it comes out in the same area at the side of the pot every time you do it. So I know that these channels do exist. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks again for all of the likes, the comments and advice. I do appreciate it. And thanks again, Spider Farmer, for the Evo SF2000 Grow Tent Kit. Bye-bye.